Hello and welcome to IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live conversation web television. I would like to wish all our viewers Eid Mubarak, and today is also Tuesday, which means it's Tech Tuesday. We are going to talk about Destiny, which is easily the biggest game that is going to be out this year and which is launching on the 9th of September. It will be available on your Xbox 360, your Xbox One, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. So the week-long Destiny beta test ended on the night of Sunday, and it left gaming addicts itching for more. And in fact, the makers of the game, Bungie, said it was the most successful and popular beta test ever. So we are going to talk about Destiny, the new game that's on the block and which will be available on the 9th of September. Joining me in the studio, I have Ishan. Ishan Arya is the founder of Just Another Gaming Site. Ishan, welcome to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining. We also have Archisman Pradhan. Archisman is a gaming journalist. Yeah? Well, and
I write about games.
You write about games. Are you an addict too?
Well, yes.
Yeah?
It's an understatement. I love to play games, basically. Yeah,
Great. All right. So we're going to have a lot of fun talking about Destiny. Let's quickly take a look at Destiny. Let's introduce all of you, those who haven't yet been initiated, those who haven't yet taken that beta test. Let's introduce you to what the game is all about before my two experts talk about it. Take a look. All right, so that was Destiny, something that I saw for the first time myself. So I'm going to ask Ishan to explain what I saw. It looked very realistic, it looked very HD, and it almost made me want to play. So explain to us what this game is about.
Destiny, as you mentioned, is being made by Bungie.
Yeah.
The studio's famous for making the original Halo games, which defined the first-person shooting genre for quite a while. And now they're coming out with this extremely ambitious project which takes a lot of elements from Halo and mixes them up with elements from a game called Borderlands. And the product is absolutely stunning. I barely slept 4 to 5 hours a day during the beta.
Really? So you took the test as well?
Yes.
And you're going to buy it?
Absolutely, first day.
You're going to buy it first day,
Yeah.
September 9th, you shall be the proud owner of a Destiny. All right.
Yeah.
Tell us how it works. Tell us a little bit about the game itself. What does one have to do in this game?
So,
something about rebuilding cities, something about, what is that?
So not really. It's
Yeah.
basically from what what the beta showed us till now is basically that humanity or the Earth has been reduced to living in one specific quadrant of area, which is the so-called safe zone. And well, you have alien species and baddies coming from everywhere, and basically you're the guardians. You play as one of the 3 guardian types, which will you can choose which type you want to play as, and you play through the game trying to protect your civilization from the alien races.
Annihilation.
Yes, basically. So that's the crux of most games these days. Most
Yes,
shooters.
saving from annihilation. Are there women to be saved? Are there damsels in distress? Ishan, I'm going to ask you this.
No, your character can actually be female. So the protagonist can be a man or woman depending on what you want.
He always plays as a woman, so
You play as a woman?
yes.
Why not?
Yeah, of course, why not?
Yeah.
But how does playing as a woman, what kind of a kick does that give you?
Nothing.
No, okay, it's just different. It's I don't want to be staring at a dude for the next 300 hours of gameplay. That's all.
All right. So this involves something called role-playing game, right? Where you create your own character.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically what it involves is that you start off the game and you choose your race. So this game offers 3 races. You can be your run-of-the-mill human, or this really, really fancy-looking alien called the Awoken, and the Exo. It's a robotic construct which humans made to protect them and to help them in day-to-day work, but they somehow developed a conscience, and they became sentient somehow. So you can play one of the 3 types.
Okay, so this is what we are showing you on your screens now.
Yeah.
It's about, you can choose your race, your gender, what your face can look like, your hair color. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, but like one of the complaints we had about it is the lack of, options. Like you can play one of 3 and there's fixed presets. Like you can't really go in depth into character creation. So some hardcore RPG fans might be left disappointed, because it is a very, very important aspect of an RPG is how in depth your character creation.
Your customization is limited. Like as you can see, you only have
these.
You only have 7 presets within which you can choose your skin color, and then you have a few hairstyles.
The emo alien.
Okay. So that's an alien or that's a human?
That's the Awoken.
That's the
Awoken species.
And
then this is the Exo, easily the best looking.
Exo is the one
the sentient robots.
The ones the humans have created, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then further on, you get to pick your class. Like that, it basically reflects your playstyle: the Titan, the Hunter, or the Warlock.
Yeah.
So each of them fits to a particular playstyle. So if you like to get down and dirty and in the face of your opponent, you pick the Titan. He's a heavy hitter, wears a lot of heavy armor, and goes right into the thick of things. You have the Hunter, who is more of a support class player. So the Hunter will hang back, pick people off from
More
a distance.
damage. And playing.
Then you have the Warlock, who is
that's just
a mage,
going all out.
Yeah, it's
See, you gave a very interesting feedback that the options are limited in terms of choosing, a lot of characteristics of the character that you want to be, that there are limitations on that. Now, I'm sure a similar, during the beta test, a similar feedback would have gone to Bungie perhaps?
Yes,
so do you think these things will be incorporated in the final version?
So, unlike previous betas companies have done, Destiny has actually improved the game a lot already. There was an alpha test a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And a lot of the aspects people complained about have already been addressed.
You took the alpha test?
Colleagues of mine did.
Okay.
Yeah. That was harder to get into.
Okay.
So, a lot of the issues from the alpha have already been addressed. A lot of the issues that came up in the beta have already been noted down, and Bungie have come out and said we will address them in the full game, not right now. But they're obviously listening to player feedback in terms of what they want the final product to be.
A lot of, I'm not a gamer myself, but I have watched a lot of films on gaming. I've watched a lot of crime serials on gaming where gamers replicate that and all of that. Anyway, I'm digressing. But what I essentially find is that you can either play it yourself or you can have the multiplayer kind of thing. So let's talk about that. Destiny offers you these options?
Yes. So
okay.
Destiny. So you can party up, which is basically you and a group of friends play together. You get together over the internet. You join the same party, and you play through the single player or the world events, as we have them, random events that happen during you running around in the world. So you can play together through the story. So it's fun when you play with a group of your friends, all yelling simultaneously. You go cover that. We have enemies flanking us.
So what we are looking at now is the single player, right?
Yes.
It's not single player per se. It can be played cooperatively as well.
Okay.
This is the story mode of the game, if you'd like. And
so this guy is defending this
he's just roaming around.
Beautiful Earth.
Yeah, okay. Just going around to his next mission. So while you're doing your regular missions during the game, like as you can see the screen blacked out right now, that signifies a world event is happening somewhere where all the players in the world need to come together to achieve certain objectives, and they get rewarded for that.
I see.
And
okay.
this
so
is just
a cooperative element to gameplay.
This is just one example of a world event that these 3 players who were in the same world have come together to complete.
And like what we saw during the beta test is that these world events are actually quite challenging, and that you need a full world.
You need a group of people.
This ragtag group of 3-4 players, it's very difficult to take these things down. Like you need to be cooperative. You need to cooperate. You need to work together.
They scale up the difficulty such that only a group of players can complete it.
So that's a good way of playing
But
with your friends.
I'm just looking at it and I think it's some lovely landscaping.
Yes,
It's
it's-
lovely
Oh, yeah.
visuals,
It's
right?
a beautiful game.
This is one of the
This
best
is the
looking
prettiest
games
game
I have seen till now.
Prettiest.
Yes, it's a
People are
beautiful
killing
game.
each other, Chisman. Please let's
It
not
is
call it
beautiful.
pretty. All right.
Like I said, I play a lot of games.
Yes, you do. So basically, there is no restriction on movement here.
So each planet, you can go to multiple planets in Destiny. So each planet has certain areas where missions occur. While a certain mission may be restricted to one part of that zone, you can still go about exploring the entire area. You can find these world events happening at places, you can find a group of enemies you encounter, and so on. So there's no restriction to where you can go.
You talked of Halo and you talked of Borderline. You talked of
Borderlands.
similarities.
Yeah.
Borderlines.
Borderlands.
Borderlands.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Halo and Borderlands. Okay. Tell us the similarities that you.
So what like I used to play a lot of Halo, so did he. But so what I found was that a lot of the assets have been reused. Like the guns look similar to Halo.
Okay.
Also, like some of the enemies, generally the world, the textures itself, they reminded me a lot of Halo. So.
Yeah.
So basically, anyone who's familiar or intimate with Halo will feel right at home.
Yeah.
Like this is Halo on steroids. Like this is just Halo HD, and it's brilliant. It is amazing. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the different things that you can do? I mean, you said that when the test was on, you did not sleep more than 4 hours a day,
Yeah.
and the rest of the 20 hours, I think you were on the game.
Yeah. So as I said,
What are the different things you do in this game? Yeah. that's
so
what
there's
I'm
the
asking.
story mode missions, right, which follow the story of the game, which send you to different planets, and you have different objectives to complete, like eliminate the enemy or find out this information or collect that object, which make you go across the entire map slowly.
The galaxy.
Right now the planet, and then the beta was restricted only to missions on Earth.
Okay.
But the final game is rumored to have at least 7 or 8 planets with possibly 36 missions approximately.
Okay.
Plus the fact that you can free roam and explore the entire planet, pick up side objectives, roam around, kill
World
enemies, pick
events.
up loot.
also
So
world events like these events.
yeah,
just keep
these
popping up.
randomly pop up. So they add to the replay value because you never know what you're going to expect. Then if you
So you have like a treasure map kind of a thing. You said things to find. You
Yes.
said, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like a treasure map.
you pick up a quest, they tell you that you have, say, a group of high-level enemies here, and enemies sometimes drop better armor or weapons. Sometimes they're guarding a big chest, or sometimes there's just chests hidden in some corner of the map which you have to jump around or take your vehicle and jump over a gap and find. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot of hidden things around the.
It's a completionist's dream. Like if there are people out there who want to get that 100% complete, all the achievement hunters out there. So there are lots of nooks and crannies in the map where there's secret stuff hidden. So you can get them and show it off in multiplayer. Ki, look, bad, like really good armor and stuff like that.
No, but what I'm trying to understand finally is you have a single player. Like we are just talking single player right now. How long can this game keep you occupied? You talked of 100%. I mean, what does it take to achieve that 100%?
So
Dedication and no social life.
Dedication and no social life.
None whatsoever.
This is like preparing for an entrance exam. Dedication and social life is what every parent would tell the child. You're preparing for CAT, you're preparing
It
for
is hard work.
IIT,
It is hard
you're
work.
not playing
Hard work.
Destiny.
Like people say it's easy to play games. It's not. It's hard work.
takes a lot of practice.
Okay, so both of you are gamers, both
yeah.
of you are almost addicts, if I may say so. So what keeps you going? What is this adrenaline that keeps you going?
It's just fun.
You guys
It's
don't
fun.
have a social life?
No,
Is
no,
that
we
what I'm
don't.
to believe?
We have
We
to.
meet our friends online in the game.
Also college,
Alright.
so we have a
Yeah.
social life somewhat.
What else can you do? What else can you do in this game? You talked of some secrets to be found, some world
so
secrets.
so like if you're bored of playing the story missions, you can just go into any world you've unlocked. Or
And explore it.
for this case, it'll be the Earth.
Yeah.
You take a dropship, go there, and just explore, roam around. Here you have enemies randomly popping up, like not randomly, like enemies respawn really, really fast. So you can just go clear an area, look around, and as you're looking around, the enemies will reappear, and you have to go through it again. So basically, you're rewarded for exploration.
Yes, let's talk about the rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this case, curiosity doesn't kill the cat.
Yeah.
At least not in the full game. In the beta, so there's these secret areas which, like hidden caves or passages or complete zones, which you need to look for, or how to get to them.
So you're protecting it, you're exploring also.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
combination
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So within the beta, there were certain areas, these hidden areas with high-level enemies, which you couldn't really fight because the beta had a level cap. Like you couldn't go beyond level 8. The rumor is level 20 is maximum. So these enemies are level 20. So they're obviously meant for the full game, but you can still find these areas. As you're going to see in the footage, we actually stumble across one of these areas about a good 60 hours after playing the game for 60 hours. We had no idea this was there. So
what was the maximum duration you could play the beta test?
it ended this Sunday, so
Yeah. So that's 24 into 7? I mean, is that how it works?
there was a downtime for 2 days where they had some server maintenance going on, but other than that, you could play
As long as internet
yeah,
lasted.
as long as you want to.
Okay.
There was absolutely no restriction. So there's all these hidden caves and zones all over the map.
It's coming up right now. So this area was locked during one of the missions we played, like one of the storyline quests we did. This area was locked, but when we came back to it later, we found that we can go
It
through
opened
this,
up, yeah.
and it's opened up, and then we find enemies which are basically immortal.
Yeah.
We can't kill them.
We can't kill them, but they can get us in one shot. And these high-level enemies obviously indicate that for the full game, they have planned to add side missions or some content that is more than what we've just seen. So right now, most people have completely explored the Earth section because that was the only thing that was open in the beta. But there's still parts which we can't really do anything about right now because the enemies are too high. So obviously that's something the full game is going to
You'll
give
have
us
to wait for
access
the-
to. Yeah. So there's a lot to do, and
You couldn't even go to the moon, you're saying? I mean,
the moon was actually open for 3 hours during the beta, just 3 hours on a special day.
okay.
Yeah.
So you had to know that special day? Or
Yeah, they announced it that
Okay,
the moon
okay.
will be available.
If you were
for-
online at
yeah.
that time, you could go and play it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Okay.
that's there. So,
So what happened in the moon?
Uh,
Did you feel that you were floating, less gravity and all of that? Does it work like that?
No,
No.
actually, that's actually one thing that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Ah, see?
yeah, that was a bit of a.
Okay.
But then they look different. Like
It's a different landscape, different
completely
enemies.
different surroundings and everything. But yeah, the gameplay, the core gameplay will remain the same no matter where you go.
Okay.
So
No, I just thought, if you're in the moon, you can picture you suddenly start
Zero
floating
gravity.
and, less gravity. Huh?
yeah, but I think they'll say that since you're wearing these fancy high-tech new armor, they
Okay.
Like-
somehow counteract zero gravity. Or
I see.
and then those are the standard excuses for laziness.
But it's a new environment, new enemies, a lot of variety. That
So you encounter different kinds of enemies on the moon?
yeah,
Yeah.
like the base level is higher. Like on Earth, in the early areas you had level 2 enemies, level 3 enemies. In the moon, everyone was just level 8, 9, 10. And it took a bit to get used to because we weren't expecting that. And
And you were only on the moon for 3 hours?
yeah, and
Okay.
there were new types of enemies which weren't present on Earth. We had enemies on vehicles turn up, and that was
And
it
basically, the difficulty scales
Yeah.
as you progress, so it makes it harder. Like you don't feel overpowered, and like you don't feel like a god. Like, bring it. You
It's not like you play for a while and then you can breeze through the game.
So how many levels did the beta test have?
I think there were about 6 missions on Earth and the one on the moon.
On the moon? 7
And-
missions?
Yeah, and you could replay them as many times as you wanted, and you could go back and set the base difficulty for the mission higher as well,
Okay.
which would yield better rewards.
So that is what I was asking. So you can keep going back
Yeah.
even as a
Playing it,
single
yeah.
player
Yeah.
to challenge yourself again and
Yes.
again,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And
All
right
right.
now the level cap, as I mentioned, is at level 8. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that scaling will have more options once the full game is out. You could even go back on an even harder difficulty for better rewards.
Okay, now let's talk about the multiplayer thing. I think that is more excessive. I can already see Arshishman smiling away.
It's what I like to play. Like for me,
Explain a little bit for people like me. Yeah.
so multiplayer is basically you have lobbies
Yeah.
or servers where many people come and compete against each other. Like you can call it a competitive kind of a very competitive kind of a scenario. Especially online gaming on the internet can get very unpleasant at times where
Right.
people are just extremely competitive. So you have different game modes here. I think we had one mode.
There
Yeah.
was only one game mode unlocked during the beta and 2 maps. They added 2 more maps, bringing up the total. Every like few hours they would have like a timed event where for like 2 hours they would add 2 more maps to the playlist. And but I think the full game will have 6 different modes at least. And
Who's that?
A lot more maps.
Is that
That's some
somebody you're
other
trying to
player.
kill?
That's one of us killing somebody else.
And we'll see. So look, what like why people are attracted to the multiplayer is
yes.
like especially for games with such strong RPG elements here, is that so you found some epic loot in the single player
show
while
it
going
off.
around. Now you
Yeah.
show it off.
You
Like,
can show it off.
I have this epic legendary armor and you are the peasants with nothing.
Okay, so others will try and steal it from you?
No,
so-
it can't be stolen
Okay.
or
But then they'll be like, why can't I kill him?
Yeah.
Or her, why can't I get this?
like
player?
better armor and better
Better
guns
weapons.
will lead to a slightly easier time on
So you're
multiplayer.
competing for something better.
You're just competing against people for bragging rights, basically.
Yeah.
Multiplayer is bragging rights. Like,
All right.
I beat you, I am better at this game than you. That's it. That's like, and that's actually what fuels a lot of people online to keep coming back and playing games like the like shooters specifically. Because like when you play online against people, it just shows that you do really need fast reflexes and a good hand-eye coordination to be
So
able to.
this is also, Ishan, about practice, right?
Oh, yeah,
You
definitely.
keep playing and you keep getting better and
Yeah.
better and better at it.
I think that's for anything you do, right?
Yeah, it is. So, I'm just
right.
trying to draw a
Exactly.
comparison.
Yeah.
here.
So you
Video
practice-
games, like when you go from one video game to the other, obviously there's a learning curve. You take time to adjust, but over a period of time you get better. That's where matchmaking comes in. You get matched up with players of a similar skill level, so that it's not like you're always playing with enemies where it's easier. So if you're a highly skilled player, you'll play against other highly skilled players.
Which
Right.
is something we came across during the beta is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Matchmaking.
Yeah, they haven't
That
worked
they
out the
haven't
kinks.
worked on it. So you get like one team will be full of the better players and one team will have average players and you get dominated. It's annoying that even though you're doing well on your team, you have to carry your team. And it doesn't always work out because it is a team effort at the end of the day.
If
Especially
you have
with-
a weak link, then
Yeah.
that becomes a problem.
it becomes a problem, especially for the game mode that was available here. So
Yeah.
basically, you need to work together to capture certain points on the map, and the more number of points, the 3 points. So the more number of points you have captured, the more points you get for your team. So if you don't have a good team who are working together, it's kind of a lackluster. You just haphazardly
It's
going
not
around
fun.
the map. It doesn't work out. You
Yeah.
need good players. You need teamwork. It's an event in and of itself,
So
basically.
Ishan is definitely going to pick up the thing. How much does it cost, Ishan? What are the prices?
I think it's 4,500. 4,300 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
But currently, I think if you pre-order it, you get a slight discount. And it's, I think, 1,000 cheaper for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
All
Again,
right. So
that's what I
you-
think. I'm not sure.
So by average standards, is it expensive? Is it
This is a game published by Activision, so their games do tend to be
expensive?
priced higher than other games. So
And what is the kind of age group that Arshishman you would think as a journalist, what age would begin to play and begin to enjoy Destiny?
So, well, playing online, you tend to the louder ones are the younger ones. So you've come across 12, 13-year-olds with the dirtiest mouths on them you will ever see, ever come across.
Okay.
And you do
You're
have.
scaring me now.
I got scared. It's scary. Okay, when you're talking and then all of a sudden you hear a squeaky voice. Oh, profanities.
Profanities.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
But then there's a definite chunk in the 20 plus region as well. Like
All right.
I play them, the 30-year-olds, and lots of people who play.
I think students, young
Students,
professionals.
young professionals.
So Ishan is going to buy the first, Destiny on the 9th of September. You are in love with the game and you're going to play the game and you will have no social life and you will be completely dedicated.
Absolutely.
That's your verdict. All right. Before we wrap up the conversation, Archishman, very quickly, bullet points, the goods and the bads of the game.
So goods, I'd say, well, visuals.
Yes.
Visuals, very good.
They were appealing. They
Yeah,
were
very good
seriously
looking game.
appealing, yes.
And gameplay, very smooth. Like we didn't come across many, what we call screen tears and frame rate drops. Very smooth. For a beta test, it's impressive. So that's there. Then generally, I like first-person shooters. So what I saw impressed me. But the negatives, I'd say the RPG elements are a wee bit lacking. The customization elements.
Yes.
Then matchmaking was found wanting. And well, I don't know if it's a pro or a con, but to each their own. Some people might find the similarity to Halo as a pro. Some people might categorize it as a con. So it's up to them.
So is is it a worldwide release or it's a worldwide
I
release?
think we get it. The Indian release is a couple of days after the worldwide release. The Indian release is basically the European release.
All right.
So,
all right.
yeah.
All right. So all of you out there who have watched this conversation, I hope Archishman and Ishan have been able to make up your minds whether you will buy Destiny or not. Otherwise, of course, you can go back to the conversation once again, take a very, very keen look at the videos we showed you of the game and of course our comments from our experts and then decide. But while you do that, please don't forget to leave your posts, your audio comments and your video comments on this conversation and also your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive, and the conversation through you will continue on the portal. I would like to thank both Archishman and Ishan for joining us. That was very, very enthusiastically put, and how both of them are inspiring all of you to be online gamers and compete and fight and kill each other and all of that. Thanks so much for watching. The conversation continues. Thanks.